still following up with our segments, and I'm so delighted to be accompanied right now with the communication consultant, Emmy Plaschy, to speak more about the social media, the communication, and its impact on tourism too. How are you?
Hi, Shuruk. Very nice.
It's
to
a
meet
great
you.
pleasure to have you again. Amy, of course, you are an expatriate, let's say, and you have your own vision, you have your own criteria of where you're living right now, but most of it is, the most important is the communication. This is the key word, or it's the pillar of any future of any nation, of bridging gaps, even between different generations, not just that, but also between different countries.
Absolutely. Nowadays, communications is everywhere, in everything, and everything is in communications. And especially when you think about traveling nowadays, it's not the same as it used to be, right? In the past, you used to look at a travel book, and you had time to, to turn the pages, or you would read the magazine, would watch the beautiful pictures, and you would imagine your destination. And then you would go and discover for yourself. But now, for example, how do you travel? Do you watch social media? Do you look at videos? It's completely different. We went from a static experience, a static knowledge, to an experimental knowledge, to people who are actually traveling and tell you how it is. So it's completely different.
So this also created kind of not just influencers when it comes to this field, but also anyone that goes to any country and reveals some videos about it. So he's an ambassador for it, for different countries. This is also connection. Like, I can be an Egyptian traveling to Paris and make my review on social media. So I'm encouraging more people to come to visit, and vice versa, of course.
Absolutely. Everyone can make videos nowadays. Everyone can become an influencer also. But I would say we have to think about what's the intention of the person that is posting the video. Are they trying to get many views, so they will report on something specific, or they will report on something that they know people are looking for? Or is the intention of the person to show a specific side, or to be authentic, and this will show a completely different type of content?
Well, I've seen lots of videos while scrolling all over the social media. What's very interesting is that people keep asking them, the people who post it, and they say, how is it? How is it, if it's safe? How are we going to spend the money? Is it expensive? So they now not just promoting for the place that they do like, actually, but also the way of living in this place for people who wants to ask.
You're absolutely right. It's one of the great advantages of social media. It gives you access to places. It gives you an idea of how prices are like on the ground, so you're not going to get ripped off, maybe not as much as before. It gives you also a travel itinerary. Some people say, if you want to visit Paris in 3 days, you should do this and this and that. And I've done it, actually. I've been around cities, and I was posting how to visit cities with Islamic architecture. So I've done it for Paris, and it really allows you to save time. And I see another benefit. It's also for female solo travelers, because they tell you, which places to go, and showing that female solo travelers can actually go to places, it encourages also new ones to do it.
Of course, Amy, this kind of connection, this kind of dialect, that it's already being provoked by people from different part of the world. Right now, the world is getting more smaller when it comes to much info and data about different and diverse fields, especially this. But the intention of you traveling and exploring, it's getting more trendy, let's say. People want to visit, how is it in the Middle East, where to pick in the Middle East, what to do in the Middle East. But also this, we can mention that Cairo has its own pulse of criteria, but also it has its diversity. This is also so encouraging to communicate more with diverse personalities from the same country.
I agree with you. It's the difference between foreign people making content while they're in Egypt, and local people like Egyptians making content. There's a way to do it where you show all of the iconic places, and you do a reel that will bombard all of the key sites, and this will get a lot of views, but it's not original. so many people do it. I really personally enjoy when I get an authentic, again it's about authenticity, an authentic review of a place, whether it's famous or not, but showing you something new. And I think it's also what traveling is about. Unfortunately, with social media, everything tends to be the same, and we are pushed to go to certain places or certain destinations, and sometimes it's not good for the country. Think about Portugal, for example, or even Amsterdam, that have so many tourists that it puts a weight on local population and they feel they're not in their country anymore. So really having a diverse way of showing places and leaving people to discover and make their own decisions, like, is key for a travel to be, or a trip to be truly experienced.
Well, since we are in this amazing place, impulsive, energetic, full of positive energy everywhere. I think it's very, sometimes we need that. Like, people can visit now in this time of the year, which is amazing here. They can get introduced to the first foundation for art dedicated for that. They can get introduced with this diversity also when it comes to the visual art movement here in Cairo. It's not just about authentic places, but sometimes we do through galleries inside authentic places. So this is also, or historical places. So this is also in addition, or on addition of doing this. So how do you see this? This is also engaging with communication in another level, which is soft power.
Absolutely. Art is a great way to discover a country. When people come to Farouk Hosni Museum, this great place, they can get a feel of the different movements he went through and the people he was hanging out with and what the evolution of the country was. And it's a great way to discover the essence of a country instead. And I've seen actually some pictures and a few videos of this place, but it doesn't give you a real idea of what it feels like. And even sitting in the garden and looking at the statues and listening to the birds, it's really worth visiting in person, not only watching a reel.
Of course, was built on also in another criteria of galleries or museums or whatever, because it's not just a gallery for displaying some beautiful paintings and visual artworks, but also this is a cultural hub. This can here where people communicate, whether through art, whether through seminars, or even with the prizes or the awards that is being held here. So this is encouraging for generations to interact, to have this cultural exchange, mind exchange, new milestones they never know about. So this is also a kind of communication, because His Excellency Dr. Farouk Hosni was keen on not just putting this like on real life, because that was his dream actually, but also to maintain this path for next generation, bridging this between pioneers and generations or emerging generations.
It's a great objective, and I'm really grateful that we have places like this. You were mentioning energy, and really I do feel, and I feel it myself, that when you come to these places and you see the colors and you do get creative energy from this, and I think it's a great legacy. Even if he's not present here all the time, he manages to give us creativity and new ideas, and yeah, like the energy to continue with whether we do art or whether we write books or anything creative.
So I think also what shaped Dr. Farouk Hosni's persona is not just because he's from the pride of the Mediterranean, Alexandria, where I don't know why it gives you this calmness. People who lived by the sea, they have their visionary artworks. They go indulge with music and art. So I think this is shaped his persona along with his experience abroad in different posts and different cultures, Rome and different part of the world. So this is very beneficial, and it's a real example, a living example that for the next generations to have or enhance some of those experiences.
Yeah, he's a true example of someone who bridges art and culture. He was in Paris, in Rome, and also in Japan. And I really like this, the multicultural and the diversity, and getting inspired and also giving back, like giving the new ideas that you might get from exposure to other countries. This is my experience here as well. So this is really a side of his personality that I really like.
Right, you said you stepped in and you felt this positive energy, as I did too, because I think this is was done or founded on a different concept. It's more of a big house with lots of paintings, visual art, and sculptures out there. So it's the ambiance, let's say, the climate itself, when it comes to soft power. And you know, you are in the presence of not just only his works, but also along with different painters from different schools of artwork, which means also this harmony that he's teaching people to be to stand among each other when it comes to soft power, because he's not only displaying his work, but also he wants to show the pioneers when it comes to this field.
It's true, it's a new way of communicating and of influencing in a way. Not saying things, not directing people, not giving orders, but showing. And here, I mean, you have different ways of experimenting the place. You can sit near the library, get a book, or you can watch the paintings, or you can sit in the garden. And all of these are suggestions for you to experiment in the way that works for you.
So I think, Amy, you've been in different countries of the world, and of course, you're Parisian, so you come also from a country where art, where the Louvre, where lots of museums are all over the world, and you told me that you visited lots of museums, but what's here, what's different about Egypt is that you can go to Tahrir Squares, where the Egyptian Museum is, or to the gym, where the Egyptian Museum in another scale, or the Islamic Museum, or the Jewish Museum, or different museums. But I mean, this rapid development in the art movement here, along with communication, along with the soft power, along with Egypt's vision, along with the treasures that we have, and also we are trying to balance that, going parallel with the international vision, but with, I guess, a taste of an Egyptian taste, let's say.
Yes, I do feel that the past year and this year are really key for Egypt in terms of art. There are so many art galleries open. The gem is now really running really well. And I mean, from my experience in Europe, or in France at least, art can be an environment that is a little bit inaccessible to some people, or we feel if we haven't been studying art or exposed to art, we are a bit shy to enter a museum. And I feel that here, I've talked to, the young generation, and they don't seem to be afraid of, going to art galleries, making their own art, and just entering this field, even if they don't have prior knowledge. So I think this is really inspiring.
And what else is very noticeable is that, for example, people can ask you for your experience, whether for your stay, or maybe you can be an advisor for some places to visit according to your experience. So you giving consultation when it comes to communication, how this also can give you a new path in the communication field when it comes to engaging with art as a relieving, at least. Like, this is where you unleash, you're shutting down from the chaotic world that we are living in, where you just let go of the work brushing or the brush on your painting. So this is also kind of communication with nothing is speaking, but only emotions and visions and feelings.
Absolutely. My philosophy is using social media because it's there and it's useful to some extent, using it to show something authentic that I really like, and also leaving social media on the side and letting people experiment. I really think that we need to disconnect, and disconnecting is actually the new luxury, whether it's in your life or even when traveling. If you can spend a day without your phone, it means you've been so organized, because how are you going to order Uber, etc. So we need, as human beings, to be able to recharge, and it's truly, I think, what happens when we are looking at art or architecture, or when we travel. For me, it's key to remember this and to make true connections with people.
So in your point of view, you think that this kind of exhibitions or cultural hub, let's say, because I cannot call it just a gallery, do you think this can be also a new path in terms of showing more diverse, not just artworks, not just communication with, as you said, like disconnecting, like go. Right now here in Egypt also we do have schools like and after even graduation schools for older people, like you don't have to be a student or something, but there's always a way that a program or something or fine art programs when it comes to the faculty of fine arts. So this is also encouraging, let's say, people who wants to stay here. So I think this can be a good advice for like to indulge with the movement somehow, even as courses and discover themselves.
Yeah, I mean, this place now is here and it can be used for different purposes and for different generations and for different profiles of people, people who know art already or people who need to discover. And I'm really looking forward to the events that will take place here.
So you're gonna be here because it's gonna be soon the seventh edition of the Prize of the Youth Award. The word youth is very really meaningful for us because you know more than half of the population are youth. So the more you engage and the more have your communication, this dialogue between youth in different, of course, ages. So being heard, being noticed, being indulged, this means a lot to this generation.
Of course, and they're used to putting out a lot of themselves on social media. It's all about it nowadays, so it's really good. They also have a space inside the official places and the official institutions, and they feel that their ideas and also the problems that they're going through are being heard.
So right now we can not deny that there is also a way of, not in a medicine way, but we can say in the field of medicine that there is right now a science where they help people to get through traumas or whatever, through paintings, through colors, through all of that. So this is a new term, but it's really getting more effective and it's getting more popular among people.
Art therapy, yes. I'm so happy you're bringing up this topic because I really like it and I definitely believe in it. I've been reading about artists and their lives for a long time, especially because I have a podcast and I interview artists, so I read about them. And if you notice, most of them start taking art and to express themselves, and they're not necessarily conscious of it, but it's somehow to overcome a trauma or to express something that they're not able to put into words, and it's really a therapeutic process. So now that we put a word on it, art therapy, it's good because it brings more people into awareness, and for me it's a great science that needs more people to be qualified in it and make it accessible to more people.
Of course, this is along with the music therapy, let's say, but indulging both, I think this is amazing because what's known about Dr. Farouk also that he used to play, he knows more of the classical music, he knows everyone, he's been listening to those since the 60s, actually, since he started. So this also can give you a new like euphoria for an artist, like to draw, to unleash, he's doing this therapy for himself without knowing even.
Absolutely, and mixing different disciplines is great, as you mentioned, music with art, with like poetry as well. And I really like events that bring these different fields together because it really leverages the power of art and the effect it has on people.
So did you meet in your bath of communication, consultation, people once have this power, energy that they want to release, not just because communication is a big word, like it has lots of different levels, different, whether it's an element or something that people-wise. So how is it? Tell us more about this.
What I ask people in the first place is, why do you want to communicate? What do you want to communicate, and to whom? And this will determine exactly the path and the platforms that we use and the words that we use as well, and the type. It could be written, it could be video. Not everything has to be video these days, although people think it's everything, but sometimes for some topics you need time to absorb it, and pictures or text will be more effective than a video that you have to replay from the beginning. So it really depends on what you need to say.
Well, Amy, it's a big topic. Actually, thinking about art really makes me in relief. I would like to thank you so much. That was Amy Plaschy, the communication consultant. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to follow up with our segments.